So in this video, we're going to go through the general features that exist in Smartsheet. So these are not the features of our templates, but rather what Smartsheet brings to the party in every single sheet that's available. We're using our RAID register or RAID log as an example for this, but this isn't a demonstration of the RAID log. We've got a separate video for that if you're interested. So let's start with forms. So using the RAID log as the example, obviously you'd want to be able to add in RAID entries from time to time. And the way that gets done is with a form, which you can edit through the menu you just saw. The process of building out a form is really straightforward. So you can just click and drag the fields that you have available that are not in the form, or in fact, click and drag out fields that you don't want to have in your form. You can have logic. So in this case, we've said when the approval status is set to approved, when you're filling in the form, then show the decision date, actually ask that person to fill in the decision date. And you can see that red star is there because that's a required field. We've got control over what fields can be left blank and what can't be. You can also have attachments that get filled in through the form. Now, InfoSpark, the consulting team, will often build these forms for you, but you can see that they're quite straightforward to put together if you ever wanted to make your own. The forms themselves, when you click on one of your sheets in the workspace, will show up nested in under the sheet. So a list of all your forms is available there if you ever want to get quick access directly into a form so that you can fill it in. So the next thing I want to talk about is automation. So you can see here, we've got a lot of automations that we've built into this template. When you start with a blank sheet in Smartsheet, there's no automations in here at all. What automations allow you to do is automate the work process or the functionality or capabilities of the sheet to quite a significant degree. So I'll just open up this one example here. So this automation is saying, okay, when a row is added or changed, let's capture the date that RAID item was logged. So we're saying if the person hasn't already filled in the date, let's fill in the date with today's date. Okay, so to make your own automations, there's a set of templates available for all of the common things that you would normally need to do with automations. And so you can say, all right, I want to tell someone when a certain date is reached. It'll give you some information about how to use the template. And then it's pre-filled in and you just need to finish off the configuration to explain how you'd want that alert to go out. So it's all good fun stuff. Okay, next, let's talk about the sidebar here and all the different things that are available here. So we're gonna not go through every single individual one, but just to give you an idea, you can have conversations. So you can say, hi, Antonio, can you please provide an update for us? Send that off. That will do a couple of different things. It will send Antonio a notification. It will, let's just refresh the sheet to show you. It will add my last comment into this column automatically. And it will give Antonio the ability to have a conversation back and forward around that item. So there's a thread similar to a lot of other chat apps that you might use that allows you to have that conversation. And it's here within the sheet from then on. You can have conversations at the row level or at the whole sheet level. Next is attachments. So you can attach in whatever files you want straight into an individual row or make them available at the sheet level simply by uploading from your cloud storage product of choice or directly from your computer. Something that's I'm not going to demonstrate, but just touch on very briefly is proofing. So proofing will allow you to annotate onto a say an image or a video or a PDF document, annotate in and have a conversation with your colleagues around the contents of the file itself. And that's really great if you have, say, a design of some sort, engineering drawings, graphic design, where you're collaborating on providing feedback and tracking incorporation of that feedback into subsequent new versions of that same attachment. Okay, we'll skip over a couple of these, talk about the activity log. So the activity log allows you to get audit level insight into how the sheet's being used, who's viewing it, who's making changes, what data has been added, and at what I feel is the most powerful feature in this activity log is that for whenever the data has changed significantly, we can download a copy of that data, a snapshot, which is made available as a spreadsheet, so that you can see exactly what that data looked like on that sheet at that point in time. It's a really powerful feature. While we're talking about that, let's also look at the cell history. So what the cell history allows you to do is see who changed the data to what at what point in time. So if I come through here and I change this to myself, and then someone came along and said, oh, I thought someone else had raised that, they'd be able to come into the cell history and see, yeah, that was originally raised by Peter back at this date, but at this date and time, Lindsay changed it to himself. Okay, next, let's move down to this summary sheet, or sheet summary, I should say. This provides a lot of information that's used to summarize what's going on with that sheet and give it broader context. So what we're seeing here is the project name that this RAID register is for. But it can also have other information like the number of items that exist in the sheet, or the number of items of a particular type that exist in the sheet. So a lot of statistics can be built here. This is totally customizable to your specific needs. Okay, so the next option here is the resource management or workload tracking. I'm just going to jump over to a schedule sheet to show you this in more detail. So what workload tracking does, this is offered within business and enterprise plans in Smartsheet out of the box. It allows you to look at all the people that have been allocated to work and understand whether they've been overbooked or how much time they have available on their hands. So you can see here, I've just added Antonio, and it's letting us know, yep, this is the work that Antonio's got on. There's no red, he's got capacity to do that. Whereas Lindsay, there's a lot of red here, he's over capacity. You can expand that out and have a closer look at all the different projects that the different people that have been assigned to this this project have on. And that allows you to go and speak to other project managers if you need to negotiate on an oversubscribed resource. Okay, and switching back to our RAID log, let's have a look at Work Insights. So Work Insights looks at all of the data that exists in the sheet, but not just that, but the history of what has been happening in that sheet, and can provide you information about the trends and the statistics that it's found. So out of the box, you'll get some visualizations and tables of data, but you can always add your own insights. Okay, so let's say we like the look of this chart where we can see how many items we have with different statuses. And we want to see it based on actually the item type. So we can say, let's add an insight. It drops down to the bottom here. And we can say, well, we want to see based on item type. And so now we've got a new chart here that shows us how many of each item we have. But we can see this blank item type here, which is coming from our header row, and we don't want that. So we'll just come in here and say our item type is not blank. and that updates the chart to display just the data that we want. And there we go. So the remaining features here are, there's a custom add-on that we make available. There's a connections to other data and AI. AI is a whole conversation for another day. So we'll leave the demo there.